Welcome everyone to our Orange County Inland Empire Real Estate Radio Show, where we showcase real estate agents, lenders, brokers, anyone who is participating in or want to support our military and the veteran community. The guests in our show are individuals, companies, and organizations who are or who have expressed a desire to support our military and the veteran community. Today, with us, we have Jim, who's going to be talking to us about commercial real estate as a business opportunity. So, with this, I would like to welcome Jim to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Joe, for having me on the show. I appreciate it and glad to be of some help.
Well, thank you, Jim, because for our military and the veteran community, uh, we have a mission that we are um, embracing, and with your help and the help of many, to have the ability to bring the military and the veteran military families and the veteran community to overcome, like the rest of us, the the challenges that we are facing on the housing industry or the real estate industry across the board. But with that, I would like, if you don't mind, to kind of give us a 1 minute introduction, who you are, what's your main focus, where you are located, and and we'll start from there.
Excellent. Thank you again. First of all, to all the viewers, thank you for your service. I personally like to appreciate all you have done and all you're doing. To talk about what we do, I'm a business broker. I help people buy and sell their businesses. And in the process of doing that, if the business owner owns a property where the business is located, we can help them market and sell that as well. We are located in Southern California, but quite frankly, we can help most people in most of the lower 48. So we
Okay.
don't have to be just in Southern California or in California. We can help you just about anywhere in the lower 48. Any
Okay.
business really as small as you can think of and as large as you can think of.
Good. Well, thank you, Jim. And I know there is a process, and that's kind of the questions that I have from the audience. But before we start, I would also like to recognize and Deborah, our host of the show, um, and she will be coming in later. But I just want to recognize Deborah as our host of a show. And when she becomes available, then she'll come into the show and ask her questions. But Deborah is a key person for us because she's the one that organizes this. She's the one that puts this together with our guests. And also would like to thank Jimmy, who is behind the scenes of doing the production. He doesn't come out but without Jimmy, this type of shows will not be possible. So just wanted to recognize them, Jimmy and Deborah. But one of the questions that I have listed is there is you said that there is no limit or size of the business. So what is one of the conditions that you look for when someone decides to either buy or sell a business? What do you look for?
Okay, yes. As far as the lower end, I've sold a business as low as $19,000. As high as the high end. There is a limit, but for all practical purposes, anything under 20 to $30 million valuation is where we go. After that, we have partners that we work with, and they can do the bigger middle market and higher, that has a higher valuation. And it could be
Okay.
into hundreds of millions of dollars. But up to that, we can help that. As far as what we look for, I look for value. Just about every business out there is sellable, even if it is not profitable. Obviously, you get more if the business is profitable, it's an ongoing concern. But there has been many occasions that somebody thought they were just going to shut the doors down for various reasons, and they were not making a profit. And we worked with them, and we actually got a good value for something that they were going to walk away.
Okay. Now, to clarify the statement or the question that I asked for our listeners or our viewers is that what we're talking about is businesses who have ownership, a real estate ownership on the business, correct?
No, they don't have to have real estate ownership. As a matter of fact, high percentage of business owners do not own the business, do not own the real estate. And they may be in a big shopping center. That shopping center could be a $50 million property, and they're just leasing it. But so they do not have to own the real estate.
Okay, perfect. And I mean, we get the audience could be ranged from, like you said, $20,000 value to whatever I will say 10, 20, whatever it is.
Yes.
But for the sake of our show, to tap into the specific target, let's say $20 million. Within that range, what are the sweet spots for you on the types of businesses that you are more inclined to pursue?
Good question. I actually get that quite often. I've been doing this for 16 years and I've sold just about every kind of business you can think of, every type of business. So I can tell you that right now in California, majority of the businesses that are being transacted are food-related businesses, whether they're restaurants, markets, food manufacturing, distribution. So most of them are food related. But I do quite a bit of manufacturing, distribution. We do some professional services, retail, and obviously food related restaurants.
Okay, and that was kind of my next question on the type of businesses. A lot of entrepreneurs, and we focus a lot of veteran entrepreneurs. So in many cases, they may or may not have a product, but they have a service, whether it's graphic design, training, consulting, coaching. Are those type of businesses that also could approach you for an evaluation?
Absolutely, absolutely. Services are in demand now, as opposed to widgets or products. They still sell, but services are very much in demand. So if you're doing some type of service, absolutely, definitely sellable.
And the other one question that I have is there's two facets of this process. One is helping them when they want to sell the business, but also will they be able to contact you if they're interested in getting into a business and want to buy a business and to see what kind of businesses are available for sale?
Yes, absolutely. In every deal, there has to be a buyer and a seller, and we help them both.
Okay, all right. Good. That's very good. And there's also talking to our we have a legal session also, and attorney mentions times the difference between business opportunities, franchises, or licensing, those kind of things. And for your particular approach, do you also kind of take them through a due diligence process to make sure that the business looks profitable before it's offered to someone?
That's a good question. Sounds like a question from a lawyer, but
It does.
so
Actually, that's the attorney asking.
that's what I thought. As brokers, we do due diligence for our own purposes, meaning for valuation. If you wanted to find out how much your business is worth, I have to take a look at your books and records. But
Okay.
any potential buyer, they have to do their own, and they cannot rely on my due diligence because I could be wrong.
Right.
I could be wrong. They have to do their own due diligences, and they're more than welcome during the time after the offer is accepted.
And that kind of brings me to a question that just came up, is that the due diligence that the owner, the new business owner, is conducting, or is there assistance that they can go to do the business valuation?
If I understand your questions correctly, we are more than happy to share with them the way we came up with the value of the business. So what we do is we put together the financials in a way that is easy to understand for ordinary people. It's called recasted financials. So we put it in an ordinary or easier way to digest.
Okay.
We will be happy to show them how we have come up with that value and explain to them the process that we have taken to come up with that value. So they see that value, how we came up with it.
Okay.
Then it's just a matter of negotiation of getting the best deal possible.
That sounds, I think that answers their question. The other one is a list. Is there a list that you share or that you can provide to the chamber so we can share with our audience and our veterans of what businesses are available for purchase? Is it a list or directory like that?
Sure. Good question. Unlike real estate, such as, let's say, residential properties, someone goes to MLS, multiple listing service, you get to have access to 99% of all residential properties in any given area. There is no MLS in our industry.
Okay.
There are dozens of different websites. But you are always very welcome to go to my website in our company, which is zoombusinessbrokers.com with an S. So ZOOM, just like the famous company, zoombusinessbrokers.com. And you can see what type of listings we have in our company. Now, if you do not see the type of business that you're looking for, do contact us, and then we can point you towards what is the best way to find it and what's the best way to invest in it.
Okay. And that was actually question number 5. When someone was looking for a business, where would they go to find that opportunity? So is there a particular website that you recommend, or they should just contact you for that information?
No, actually, so if there is one website, which is the major website nationwide. It's called Biz, B-I-Z, buy, B-U-Y, sell, S-E-L-L, bizbuysell.com. That is a nationwide site that has good percentage of all businesses for sale. If you're in California, the one that is pretty well known is Biz, B-I-Z, Ben, B-E-N.com, bizben.com.
Okay. And I in the past, I have used the other one, the BizBuy.
Yeah.
It has a lot of information.
Yeah.
And the other part, as a personal question, was the when someone goes to these websites and goes to the resources that are available, that's the first part, finding that potential opportunity, but navigating through the process. That's where the most challenging part comes in. So it's part of the services that you offer, helping people navigate through the process so they are making the right decisions along the way.
So that really pretends more towards the buyers.
Okay.
And if somebody's interested, I'll be happy to talk to them. And actually, one of the things we offer to veterans is that one first consultation about the type of business they should get in. And that generally, there is a $250 charge that we offer for free for veterans and veterans' families.
Okay. Well, I'll be very happy to put that on our news promotions for veterans to take advantage of that. And thank you for that opportunity for that. Okay. Um, Besides, so are there any other tips? Are there any tips that you can share? Things that people should be aware before deciding on purchasing a new business? What would you advise? How do people prepare?
My experience has been that veterans, generally speaking, are excellent entrepreneurs. They're very disciplined. They really are not afraid of anything. And they usually make very good entrepreneurs. So the first thing, don't be afraid. Believe in yourself. But the most important thing that I always say people should look for is that inner desire within them to be in charge of their own destiny and not just look for the paycheck every other week. If you're looking for a paycheck every other week, being a business owner may not be the right choice. But if you want to bear the fruits of your own work and be responsible for what you do and enjoy the benefits of that, there's nothing like owning your own business.
Correct.
And it could be a one man or one woman show, and it could be a company with hundreds of employees.
Yes. Well, that's very good advice. So we always think about having the mindset of entrepreneur versus the mindset of an employee, and how those two sometimes they connect, but most of the time they're different mindsets. They go in their own direction.
Yeah.
And one last question before I pass you on to Deborah, who just joined us. Thank you, Deborah. One last question from me was: is there a percentage of income or percentage of down payment or percentage on the purchase of a business that you see that the business owners should have before they're really going to dive into buying a new business? What's the ratio of that percentage in your experience?
It varies quite a bit because there are basically two ways you can buy a business. The obvious way is cash, pay you all cash. Actually, the second way is financing. Financing can be done through an institution, a bank, which usually is an SBA backed loan, or a seller financing.
Okay.
It really depends on the situation, on the business, on the industry that you want to get in. There is no one answer that fits all. You should keep in mind that you should have somewhere between 20% and up of the targeted investment value to begin with. If you have less than 20%, it's very difficult to work with.
And that's really what I was going to, because when someone gets into a business and they're just at the top of the limit on the financing they have available, whether it's bank or whatever, on their cash accounts, because businesses take a while for them to take off, to get restarted, to get going. I mean, just just getting payment from credit cards, it takes a while, anything like that. So having enough cushion for at least 3 to 4 months before, so they don't get hit with payments coming in before they start making money. So
yeah, but that you're talking about brand new opportunities.
mm-hmm.
Actually, the 20% goes out the door, and you need to have more.
Right.
The 20% I mentioned is if there is an ongoing business and the business is generating income today, and let's say they are selling it for $500,000, you got to have at least $100,000 in your hand before you start for that $500,000 business.
I guess that's what the question was going to. Thank you. That was the answer.
You're welcome.
So I just wanted to welcome Deborah, our true host of the show. I'm just filling in for Deborah. So welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. We had some technical difficulties with my Mac.
Well, there's always technology is always a surprise.
But thanks to Jimmy, he figured it out.
Yeah, Jimmy does a pretty good magic.
Yeah, Jimmy's amazing. Jimmy's amazing. Yeah. Hi, Jim. Welcome. Good to see you. So, did you guys review everything already?
We actually did. We went all through the different questions. Okay. We had the 7 questions that we had set up, and Jim was very quick to answer them. We have all the information out there that we need to show. If there is anything else, then anything you have in mind, feel free to ask the questions. Otherwise, I'll just do the summary of it.
Okay, I wasn't sure, Jim, were you able to tell Joe about a few of the veterans that you have actually helped in selling businesses? Were you able to tell Joe that? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, no, that was the only thing I was going to add since you went over all the other questions.
Sure. One of the stories that come to my mind, I was working with a gentleman that was pretty much already past retirement age. He was a veteran from the Korean War, and he had a manufacturing company. And we did a valuation for his company, and we felt that the company is worth about $5 million. And he said, at $5 million, he can retire. He's good to go. Let's go to market. We marketed his business, and about 8 months later, we got a couple of offers that were not really good, solid offers. But 8 months later, we got an offer from a larger entity that offered them $6.7 million, more than what he was asking for.
That's fantastic.
Between he and I, it took us about half a second to say yes.
No kidding.
Were you also able to tell Joe about the veteran? He was a Vietnam veteran, and he was going to close his business.
Yeah. So, the other question, and this actually happens often enough. Unfortunately, people, when their business gets into trouble for various reasons, they usually become hopeless, and they want to stop the bleeding. They're losing money or they're not making money, and they want to walk away. They want to close the doors. Fortunately, I was introduced to this gentleman, Vietnam vet, and he said he was ready to close the shop. I said, don't do that. Can you stay on the market for a few months? Because I really think I can get something for you. To make a long story short, about 4 months later, we got him an offer at 150 or 155, something like that, for his business. Over $150,000 for his business, which was incredible. And he couldn't believe it. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, just about every business has certain value. If we can find that value, we can sell it.
And that brings me a really interesting question that didn't ask you before, but how does it when you're helping someone to sell a business? What is there a cost? And is there a cost for the service? How does that work?
Yeah. So we offer the valuation for the businesses, and generally speaking, that valuation, as I mentioned, we look at the numbers, the revenue, the net profit. We look at your balance sheet, how much asset you have, how much liabilities you have, and we also look at comps. How much did a company similar to yours have sold in the past year or two? We marry and combine those three methods, and we come up with a pretty good, a solid number. That is valued at $2,500. For veterans, we give them $1,000 off, $1,500. And if you decide that you like to go ahead and sell the business and decide to work with us, we waive that $1,500 total, so it becomes free.
And so at the end of the sale, let's say once you sold the business, you get a percentage of that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And would you want to share with the audience the percentage range?
Oh, absolutely. Not enough.
Well, it is. Yeah.
No,
Great answer.
The matter is, it ranges. There is a range depending on type of business, what is involved, and so on. It really is anywhere between 6 to 12%.
Okay, that's golden information. That's a golden information.
Yeah.
And okay, very good. So, Deborah, any other questions? We running out of time.
So I don't want to be repetitive for what you've already discussed.
We can always bring things back.
I'm excited.
There was one story about a gentleman that was a vet and bought a restaurant. And would you like time? So I met this gentleman, a Vietnam vet, and he was a cook overseas, and he wanted to own a restaurant. And I said, "Are you sure?" He says, "I love cooking. I love food. Yeah. I want to do this as a main source of income." So we helped him find a business, a restaurant that was closed. So he got a pretty good deal buying that location, put his own menu, and became very successful.
Wasn't he the one that was a cook in the Marines? You said he was a cook in the Marines. Yeah. Yeah. So it carried over his expertise from being in the Marines, he was able to use in his business.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So if you have someone like me who loves to make pancakes, we can have a pancake restaurant somewhere along the line. That would be awesome.
Yeah, the IHOP just went out of business near me, so you could take that over.
Remember, Joe, the desire has to be there, but that entrepreneurship has to be there as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Sure.
I'll let you taste my pancakes, see what you think.
You got yourself a deal.
All right. Well, Deborah, you want to close this?
I just want to thank you, Jim, for being on the show.
My pleasure.
I've known Jim for a while, and he's a phenomenal human being. He has a huge, huge heart for vets. He's been working with vets for years and really helping them. And so I'm so excited you were able to be on the show and Joe was able to talk to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Jim. And like I said, there is so many different angles that we can go from on this. We would love to have you back, different perspective, and to see, and maybe just you with a guest as a veteran who has worked with you, so they can tell the story. So I think that sometimes is good to hear from their own perspective, and we love to do that. So please
Sure.
plan, work with Deborah, set up we can set up another show. I guarantee you, Deborah does a much better job than I do in hosting. So
No,
that way,
that's not true.
that way we can bring. Would love to showcase some of our veterans who are working with you, who are benefiting, and that will maybe motivate even more veterans and more military families to participate. You know.
Yes.
So,
I'll be happy. I'll be more than happy.
awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jim. And
Thank
with
you.
that,
Good day, everyone.
thank you, and Deborah, and I just want to thank Deborah, and I want to thank Jimmy for working behind the scenes.
Yeah, Jimmy's amazing.
And now we have Laura, who's also listening to the show. And so you're welcome, Laura. And yes, definitely we'll have pancakes with Laura. So again, thank you, everyone. This is the Orange County Inland Empire Veterans Radio Show, where we are bringing to you local resources that will help you kind of understand and go and navigate through the real estate process. All this is supported by the National Veteran Chamber of Commerce and through veteran-friendly military agents. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.